Hello, DeFranco Movie Club. It's me, Jenny, aka ClassyLibrarian, and this week's movie was not a movie, it was Arrested Development, which is a TV series. And my quick review for this film is it's one of those series that takes a while to get into. Obviously there are laugh out loud moments in every single episode, but for me it took me until about maybe episode 8 or 9 to understand the characters enough and the pacing of the humour enough to really get into it. A few years ago I heard about the series on a list of programs that had been recently cancelled and were underrated, and I started watching it at that time, and I got to about episode 5 or 6 and I wasn't really into it and I wasn't really getting it, and I stopped watching. And this time I got as far as the episode that I'd seen, and then I carried on watching to see whether or not I'd get into it, and it got to about episode 9 or 10, and suddenly it all clicked in my head, and I haven't stopped watching it. I've watched the entire first season practically straight in a row, and I now have an inactivity headache because I haven't done anything else in the entire, I don't know how many hours it is, about 10 hours, that makes up the first season of this series. It's genuinely funny. It's laugh out loud. If you watch all the way through the first season, in the last episode everything comes together in one big go. Like all of these little subtle things that have been put in to do with the time period, or to do with the Iraq War of when this was filmed in whatever year it was, 2000 and something. And it all comes together in a really interesting way. The acting throughout is, as I said, it's a little bit off-putting to begin with. These characters are so distinct and so wacky, and in a way most of them are unlikable. Like, almost all of the characters in this you wouldn't really want to sit down and have a cup of tea with. You might want to hear about an interview or see a silly program about, you know, how their life works, but for the most part, most of these people you really wouldn't want to hang out with. But the way that it's structured, there are so many quirks to these characters that eventually you do get used to them, and once you've got used to the characters and once you've got used to the humour, it's so good, and it's a really fun series. I would recommend it, but you have to have enough time to get to grips with the characters and the way the humour works. And it does take a little while. It took a little while for me to get into this. I don't know whether or not that's for everyone. I think some people, they will get it from the first episode, they're going to be like, this is amazing, this is so fun. But for me it did take me a while just to kind of get into it and get into the swing of how everything functions. And that's about it really. I am going to go outdoors and do some housework and read a book because it's my day off and all I've done is watch Arrested Development. And then maybe after all that I will start on season 2. See you guys next week. Again, I would recommend it if you've got time to get into it. If you're not liking it by the first episode, give it a chance to get to about episode 10. If you're still not liking it after episode 10, give up. If you get it from the first episode, you will love the rest of it. The acting is brilliant for the characters that they've created. The direction is interesting. Yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Bye guys.